Greetings and welcome to yet another Morrowind Mod of the Month video. This time around we're going to be taking a look at the best mods of January 2018, and as always I'm your host ThatDwemerGuy, and now January was a pretty active month for the community, with about 50 new Morrowind mods released in total, about the same as December actually. There was quite a variety of mods released, between house mods, gameplay mods, and other little additions here and there. But without question, January was a big month for graphical replaces, with new water shaders, a beautiful waterfall replacer, and the first big Logan text replacer in nearly 2 years. And unsurprisingly, the polls were dominated by these heavy-hitting graphics mods, and we'll be taking a look at the top 3 mods as chosen by you guys. But before we get to all that, there is of course a new online poll down in the video description below where you can vote for your favourite mods of February 2018. Do please remember to, check that out, and in about 2 weeks or so, we'll be back with another episode. But anyway, moving on, our mod of the month for January 2018 is none other than Enhanced Water Shader for MGE XE by Krokantor. And I do apologise if I mispronounced the name there. And, since I first started using this mod for our showcase video here, I've just, absolutely fallen in love with it. It's really just such a splendid water shader, and really makes the coastlines of Morrowind feel so much more organic. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself here. First and foremost, this is a water shader for MGE XE that changes the appearance of, well, water obviously. Changing the color a bit and making the water surface appear just, a bit more reflective, especially with, regards to the sky and the clouds and all that, as well as adding some new wave behavior. And yes, you will need to enable the dynamic ripples option in MGE XE for this mod to, work as intended. And also, according to the author, greater water depths will now have a different color from, more shallow areas, and the sky color and even the time of day will be reflected in the water color here. And of course, this is a vast improvement over vanilla Morrowind's dated, though at one time highly celebrated and praised water shaders that came out in 2002, and even MGE XE's default shaders. And now to really show off this one, we're just going to fly around a few different areas here, where you can see the water surface, including some more shallow pools and deeper lakes and ocean areas around the Bitter Coast, and the Ascaden Isles in particular. Now, not to just keep heaping praise upon praise here, but this is just really a very scenic, atmospheric, and beautiful shader for the lakes, rivers, seas, ponds, and even interior sewers of Morrowind. It's hardly surprising that this ended up being our mod of the month, with over twice the votes of any other mod in our online poll, and the quality here is just, abundantly obvious to everyone, and it does vastly improve the graphical appearance of the game. That said though, since this mod does require the dynamic ripples option to be turned on, it is perhaps a little heavy in the frame rate department. MGE XE's dynamic ripples option, along with, per pixel lighting, is probably one of the more performance-heavy features on the Morrowind graphics extender, and as a result, low-end machines will probably experience some lag for this particular shader setup. But the price of performance here is one well worth paying for such vastly improved ocean environments, and it should be noted that this shader actually comes in 2 versions: the more standard bluish color that bears some similarities to the default option in MGE XE, and a more, sort of greenish color option that gives this fantastically scenic greenish hue to the waters of Morrowind. And, it's a real shame that we didn't finish this video in time for St. Patrick's Day, because this would have been a really nice feature to show off for the holiday. But, oh well, missed opportunities. Now, before we finish this showcase here, we're just going to check out a few different areas with this green shader, because it really is just incredibly beautiful, and to be honest, I think I might like the, greenish hues here a bit more than the regular shader, though it's a tough call to be sure. Either way, Krokantor has created a masterpiece here, and while I haven't really dabbled with too many shaders from Morrowind, I have to believe this is probably one of the best water shaders currently available on the market. Not only does it just, change the appearance of the water here, but it adds just really immersive touches like the foam along the coastlines, or fixing the glitch that let you see through underwater environments of MGE XE. There's just a lot to love here, and with everything it offers, there can be little surprise why this is our mod of the month for January 2018, and I would certainly highly recommend at least giving it a try. Next up, we have our second choice for the mod of the month, and this time around we have Better Waterfalls by Melchior. And it does seem like we have a bit of a theme going on with this episode of the mod of the month now, doesn't it? I mean, first water shaders, now waterfalls. January was certainly quite the wet month for graphical replaces, I would say. By the time we'll be done with this video, you'll be thoroughly soaked in little graphical upgrades to your game, But enough swimming around here, let's get into the showcase. Better Waterfalls replaces the surprise Waterfalls of Morrowind with vastly more natural looking versions that perhaps most importantly seems to actually make these waterfalls look like, fluids, with bits of spray and small particles of water dancing off to the side as the flow of water streams through, grates or cascades down a stream, or so on and so forth. One of the big issues with Morrowind's original waterfalls is that they really weren't very convincing. They were at best animated decorations that didn't really look much like water at all, and it's always been a bit difficult to find an ideal replacer for them, and until now I've been mostly using Logan's waterfall replacers, I think. But while they look great up close, they're not, quite as scenic from a distance. And Melchior's Better Waterfalls manages to look, organic and fluid, and it, seems to behave as water should, and they're really quite beautiful, both from a distance and up close and personal. And without doubt, this is a much welcome addition to the stable of waterfall replacers out there, and it's perhaps not that surprising why this ended up as our second pick for the mod of the month, and is certainly worth taking a look at in your game. And finally, our third and last pick for the mod of the month is, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Blim-Dim Collective Cups by ThatDwemerGuy. And yes, I know, I'm not really sure how we got here either. For a long time, it looked like Logan's Velothi retexture was going to take the third spot. But, well, then this happened. I don't know how, but here we are, unfortunately. So, yeah, let's just get started with this, I guess. First and foremost, Blim-Dim is a companion mod that adds Blim-Dim from the Drunken Mud Crab Let's Play series to the game world of Morrowind, complete with the murdering of Finemouth, and collecting cups, and yes, he'll want you to go and get a Limeware cup before he'll join you in your adventures around Morrowind and all that. And as far as companions go, this is, to be perfectly honest, incredibly average, though with the novelty of having voice dialogue lines. So if you've ever thought to yourself, gee Willy Wonka, it sure would be nice to hear the Drunken Mud Crab cry out in pain during a battle, or make snide remarks while you're traveling the countryside, well then I guess this mod has you covered then. And yes, of course, we're going to listen to some of the audio samples here, so consider yourself warned, and if you would like, you can, just mute the speakers right now if you want.
So much to forget. Show me your war face. I die so that cups may live.
And yes, that's pretty much it. I don't know why or how this became our third pick for the mod of the month, especially over Velothi retexture, but it did, so there's that. And anyway, that pretty much wraps up this episode of the Morrowind mod of the month. So as always, don't forget to vote for your favorite mods of February, and we'll be back in a few weeks with the results, and of course, download links are down below. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.